Hello there. Today on Skullman Speaks, I want to talk about the storytelling aspects of Minecraft, and how it has largely been used by others to craft worlds unthought of, yet brought into our reality by those banded in servers or those which paint a story of their own. To start with, Minecraft itself doesn't really give the player much of a story besides that which may be pieced together from dungeons or obscure items found within crafting trees and from the newer archaeology mechanics. This is without including outside media like official books that detail blocks or mobs, if not spin-off games to the original, though these could always become null over time due to the updates we get overriding what was formerly presented. Hell, I doubt a player that is fully isolated from the inner workings of the Minecraft community would know what to do to even progress towards the end if it wasn't for the guidebook that is permanently pinned to the player's inventory now. Regardless, the story itself is simple and remains rather simple if you're not MatPat and don't go digging to find it, as you'll be rather devoid of any lore which is anticipated at this point, considering it isn't supposed to be enriched with story. That was likely never the intention. To build, craft and survive, that was what brought people to Minecraft, and eventually people found ways to expand upon this to have their own stories, but not the one you're thinking of. We have something else to cover before I start to dip into the SMPs and how they began making their own stories out of the world that had cropped up around them. Adventure maps were the first steps into storytelling, and that was created by the players for the players, after they had grown tired of running the same cycles and wanted a challenge or some sort of tale to explore which hadn't been available prior. Herobrine's Mansion being a key example as one of the first adventure maps to do well due to the scale and dedication that went into making it all the way back in 2012, with a texture pack to make the land more grim. It was a spectacular tale that eventually got added to the Hypixel server because, well, Hypixel themselves made it all that time ago, but they're now acting as a mini-game where you fight off waves of mobs that steadily grow more powerful as you progress. These adventure maps will only evolve into something monumental as time went on, as more changes were added to Minecraft and more features were slapped on top to provide newer experiences for those hoping to add their own twist on a world where many would come to play. Nowadays, people are more so favouring mods instead of adventure maps, besides that which will gain the spotlight if only for a passing time, such as Poison, which is more so known for housing Beetle Behemoth, but they simply lack that which a mod can bring along in regards to growing and exploring the world in some cases. It's just a natural progression of things, but it doesn't mean the two can't work together, since there are many Pixelmon maps which take both aspects and help to tie it all into a package of great wonder when experienced for the first couple of times. They certainly work on feeling like a Pokémon game moved to the Minecraft system with how everything flows from one event to another. However, this leaves me with the many SMP storylines which have cropped up after the massive boom from the Dream SMP, where things seem to be plotted in places but there is enough awkwardness between the players for it to feel real. Being able to implement rules down the road to better expand upon what is concrete and what is simply the same from Minecraft, which could raise stakes in situations where these new rules have dire consequences for the people at risk. Moreover, the ability to be able to interact with one another during this also gives it an edge over adventure maps due to things not always being planned out, meaning on occasion improv could further accentuate the story, since now they're running on what may happen. Sure, there are errors like faux deaths that likely set the tension back a couple steps, but it can bring out emotions that can sometimes be hard to probe out of people, such as fear, surprise or desperation. It would not be remiss without the cast at hand too, which can be a good net for bringing in viewers, but also the make or break for how the series goes based on the chemistry and acting skills of those involved. A number of mess-ups or being unable to show the needed emotion can be a killer if trying to post this to an audience and having them try to believe that this is more than a story, something to probably interact with until the ending slams into your face. Getting everything to line up correctly is impossible, but at the least it can provide a funny substitute where the mask slips a bit before hopping back into character. The last thing you want to do is having that linger if you're going live. Before I finish, I do want to briefly talk about 100 days videos or blank versus blank videos, since these can sometimes hold a storytelling aspect to them too, but it isn't always a necessity for the video to work out. ShadowMech has implemented some basic story elements into his work on occasions when playing for 100 days in an apocalypse, but isn't reflected in videos such as that of surviving in RL craft. The blank vs blank videos will usually capture this a lot better, though as factions rise and fall, whether from their own hands or at that which were more crafty in comparison. But a channel called Ish portrayed this perfectly in their own video. Nations plotting to kill their ruler, small side stories getting their own time to shine when available, and having the tragedy of it all being dragged out from under themselves is portrayed wonderfully, with it not growing stale either, since there is always someone to go catch up with. It sure takes a lot of coordination, but pays off when implemented in a manner that gathers every side of the world being made. Makes me want to make my own little series incorporating horror elements for once. In any case, this has been Skullman Speaks, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully.